I guarantee you that this card will be banned in the future, says one random person on the internet. Don't think the 30% of you guys have not smashed the living crap out of that subscribe button. Smash it so we can climb up the 100k ladder. Every ban list means that somebody always has a hot take. And the hot take for an upcoming, I guess, prediction for somebody was Hero Kid will be banned in the future. Now, for those of you that don't know this, Splight is a couple of months away. And you know what Hero Kid is? It is a level 2 monster. Well, with all of the synergy and things that are kind of being unpacked here for Splight, it would appear that some hero players believe that this card is going to be the next crazy thing. Not Swap Frog, not Deep Sea Diva, not any of those sorts of shenanigans. It's going to be a level 2 monster that's going to involve another card summoning it to special summon out some other copies of itself. Now, how ridiculous is that? It's very. I think this is one of the stupidest takes that I've heard in a very long time. And I think having the mentality of looking at level 2 support and, passing up Deep Sea Diva, the Frog Engine, the way better packages, to immediately point the finger at Hero Kid is just crazy to me. It doesn't particularly make any sense to me, but all Yu-Gi-Oh players seem to have very hot takes, and for some reason this was the more centralized take, I guess, at this point in time. So yes, Splight will be coming out. Yes, it will impact the game. Well, actually, I don't know if it'll impact the game here. We'll have to talk about that hot take in this video as well. But honestly, ask yourself, how broken or, how consistently good do you really expect Hero Kid to be when there's better alternatives currently present in the game? I think the answer is it's not. All right, stop thinking Hero Kid's going to get banned. All right, because it has no business getting banned anytime soon. Are we good now? Is that take done? Next up here is 6 cents to 1. Now, after Change of Heart and Yatagarasu came back on this list, I can see it. I've read some general opinions from people that have kind of looked at 6 cents at this point in time, and I kind of see some interesting takes from this. A lot of people bring up the fact that certain trap cards can be too slow in the game, and I can agree with that. If you open up 6 cents going second, yeah, you can draw some hand traps, yes, but you still gotta, get an appropriate result to be able to, get the best of the card. And that's kind of where, I guess my argument comes from this here is it really worth it at that point to have it fully resolve? If you go 5-6 and you get rewarded for it, then sure, but, if not, you just activated a card that said mill, 1, 2, 3, or 4 from your deck. I don't think that really progresses the overall game plan for you whatsoever. And that's one of the more disappointing things at the end of the day here is, yeah, 6 cents is a fantastic card. Yeah, it's busted in some categories, but is it worth it to come back to 3? Absolutely not. I would never want to see 6 cents back at any crazy number. But depending on how things go, what's that with tier elements? I don't think it'll come back. I do agree that I don't think that this will come back either. But it is a hilarious take nonetheless, just to kind of see that players kind of look at 6 cents and go, the card is not what it formerly once was. Because I do agree, it's not. The game is definitely sped up way more than it actually was back in the time of even Dragon Rulers, which is kind of crazy actually, even though power scaling is much, much more interesting at this point. Next up is, there's always that one guy that says, Splight, hold on, let me get in the character here. Splight will not be, it'll fail in the TCG. There you go. I got into character just for that one. Oh boy. The interesting thing about this is so many people have tested Splight at this point in time that they're all pretty much unanimously agreeing the deck will be a top contender in the TCG. You just got to ask yourself, will it be, tier 0? And I'm unsure about that, actually. We don't have Maxi, which is one of the big level 2s that kind of bridges the gap for the deck. And we're also unsure of, here in future applications of a ban list, how the adventure package will, stand up. One of the big things that the OCG had, just kind of gradually eaten away from them was the adventure package has now just been dramatically reduced over time, over and over and over again. And right now the TCG has 150% full power branded. I guess mine is Verte Anaconda, so I guess we're like 125%. You have full power branded at this point in time. And then to, take a step back here and look at, Splight. Yeah, if Splight gets to come into a format where we have full power branded, I think you'll have two very powerful decks competing with each other. Not even to mention, Tier Elements and Exosister bringing up the back of the line here as two very underrepresented decks, and, Rika right behind that. But considering the fact you have 4 decks entering into the fray, behind like the power creep that is this current format, I think that's a very interesting thing to see, ladies and gentlemen. So yes, Splight will be a good deck. Don't if you're being massively arrogant and ignorant, yeah, you're just underestimating things for no real reason at this point in time, and that doesn't really make any sense to me. Next up is Macrocosmo and D-Fissure can move to 3. Now, interesting little point on this. The community already hates Floodgates as it is. You know how many more rulings that we're going to have to unpack here just to kind of, what's the word I'm looking for? To accommodate to this. You've already got like 100 interactions where people are already like, well, this effect can resolve, under these conditions. It's a whole lot of conundrum understanding like where cards can resolve, cost payments versus things, Yeah, it's not a pretty thing to explain to players that the interactions between Dimensional Fissure and Macrocosmo can be just bad. At least currently with them limited to 1, those rulings are a lot more scarce. And in between, the other thing is, if you bring those particular cards back to the table here, you will see like massive more increases of players trying to play them. I.e., look at all like the very early skill drain decks we had, out of the previous list when it came back versus now, skill drain still sees play, but it's not like on the crazy like early week everybody's crapping their pants and crying about it shenanigans that we saw very early on. So with that being said, I could see them potentially moving these in future list because it does feel like they could come back. But you know how our Yu-Gi-Oh community is at this point in time. I can already imagine like the amount of people just literally screeching and being like, oh, I got cheated because of this ruling. I mean, banishment effects that override certain effects to the average like new player are a very, very, very hard concept to grasp. So mark my words on that. They can come back to 3, but it's going to be a headache for everybody. And the next the last hottest take for this video is adventure is fair. I think this is the take that, besides like 6 Cents coming back to 1, that, and I guess Spike not being tier 1, that really just made me go, how like crazy are people? A splash engine in a deck that can produce an Omni Negate every single turn that can play into your strategy is, how do you say, fair? I don't know about that one. You also get a free Link Climb play for no real reason. You get searchability out of this stupid engine just to kind of top it all off. And players out here actually believe that the adventure package is fair. Well, we'll see how fair it is in future list here if it actually gets taken out back and checked by Papa Konami. But outside of that, I think this is just crazy. An Omni Negate package every single turn, I guess with based around it was a lot more apparent like how crazy and splashable it was. But come on, if you're really thinking that adventure at this point in time is fair, you are living in some like bizarro Yu-Gi-Oh world out here where you are not playing tier 1. I guess maybe to a casual player the engine looks bad, but like to the competitive player it is the absolute craziness. So what do you guys think about these hot takes? Please leave a comment down below, tell me what you guys think. I always love like seeing these opinions from players because it's very apparent who just does not know how to play this game. I'll see your beautiful faces back here later on the day, guys. Peace out. Patrons, thank Thank you.
Thank you so much for watching. Check out these other videos.